What's up, Eagles Nation? I honestly didn't think I was going to make a video tonight, but that game today was just, and we all know, we all saw it. I went to a haunted attraction tonight with my boss and his wife, and the scariest thing I saw all day was how that Eagles game ended. Um, I'm going to start by saying that um, some weeks ago after the Eagles lost at home to the Vikings, and I said at the time, and I said, it just feels like an 8-8 type of year. And it sucks because it's coming off of a Super Bowl championship, year. And look, there's a lot of schools of thought here, and there's people who are jumping all over them. Oh, it was a one-hit wonder, 1-year wonder, blah blah blah. I honestly, I don't think that that's the case. I do believe that this is a good football team. Are they a championship football team right now? No. I do believe it's a good football team with very good players in key spots, like a quarterback, like some of the defensive players they have. Um, I don't think that Doug Peterson forgot how to coach. I don't think that some of the key players on this team forgot how to play. I think there is a very real situation going on where it is very difficult for a team that wins their first championship the following year because of the extended season they just went through. They don't have a lot of as much time as they normally would have as in an off season with the front office, with the players, with everything that goes with that. I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying that there's a history of this. Even a history of this for teams that lose the Super Bowl. In that next season, they in some cases they're not very good. It's a 500 type season or below. There is something very real about that. My boss brought up the fact that we were talking about this because I said, boy, I would love to have what the Patriots have, to be consistently there every year. And he reminded me, he said, the year after the Patriots won their first Super Bowl was I believe it was like a 9-7 year. I mean, it wasn't like the Patriots that we are accustomed to seeing them now. So maybe there is something to that. But I will say this. The thing that's frustrating about this season, it's not just that they're coming off a Super Bowl and they should be much better, that the record should be much better, which right now they're 3-4. It's all the things that we saw this team do a year ago, just 1 year ago, they're failing to do. It's simple things, tackling, making the right plays, getting key turnovers in key situations, offenses moving, having a balance on their offense, scoring touchdowns, this and I said the Tennessee game was the most frustrating I've felt after an Eagles loss in a number of years. Today's the day. I mean, you're up 17-0 at home. The Tennessee game, at least we could say, well, it was on the road. Even though I don't think it's a great home field advantage with Tennessee. No, again, I know the Titan fans are all over me, after that video I made. Oh, our offensive line. Okay, all right. How's Tennessee done since that game? All right. So, that game was frustrating, but it was on the road. This game, today, when you're up 17-0 in the fourth quarter at home, and yeah, I'll say it, you choke it away. That's a game. The Tennessee game was one they should have put away. They should have won. This is absolutely, positively a game that they should have put away. They should have won a year ago. They blow out the Panthers. If they're up 17-0 in the fourth quarter, game's over. Game over. Done. Not so far this season. Not so fast this season. You're up 17-0 against an offense, and I know the Panthers have some weapons, right? Cam and McCaffrey, and it's not that good an offense. You held them in check for 3 quarters. And now in the fourth quarter at home with your fans in full throat, you're just going to give it up? On gimmicky type plays? Reverses? And stupid little... I mean... I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. This defense loves to talk. Oh, they love to talk about... Oh, they want to be up there with the great defenses. In Eagles history and in NFL history. Oh, look at what we have. We got this guy. We got that guy. We got this guy. We want to be compared to these defenses. We want a Super Bowl. We want that respect. Well, you know what? You're not helping yourself when you're up 17-0 at home and you blow it. And you give up 3 consecutive touchdown drives to an offense that up to that point has looked like they didn't even belong in the league. And I get it. Cam Newton and McCaffrey are all right. You're still up 17-0 on them at home. You put their ass away. Don't give them anything. Don't give them any hope. The great defenses in this league win a game when you're up 17-0 at home. They shut out their opponent. They get big turnovers. Something this defense can't do. Last season they did it. This season, they can't. And it goes across the board. Across the board on this defense. You guys want to go on and on about how great you want to be? Well, you guys show up. When you're up 17-0, you got to finish that opponent. You got to put them away. And when they're starting to crawl back in, you got to get that big turnover. Twice on Carolina's final possession, the Eagles had a ball in reach of getting an interception. They couldn't get it. And look what happened. Panthers go down the field, score a touchdown. On 4th and 10. You have a 4th and 10. And I know against the Titans those weeks ago, you couldn't stop 4th down conversions. You have a 4th and 10. And yeah, you got some pressure on Cam. He made a great play. But you let Torrey Smith get wide open for the catch. What are you doing? Yeah, and they have this bend don't break defense at home, and then they get all these yards, they get down the field, and then what they do? No, they settle for field goals. Not in the fourth quarter. They weren't. Bend don't break. It was bending and breaking all fourth quarter long. They were getting right down the field. They were scoring touchdowns. They weren't settling for 3. And offense. I know a shoulder of the blame goes to Carson Wentz because they had a chance at the end there to get the game-winning touchdown. He couldn't do it. I honestly, and I was watching the second half of that game, or portion of the second half of that game at my boss's house after the game. We went out to the haunted attraction. But, so I saw that last drive there. And the third down play, 3rd and 2, and they're going for the end zone in a double coverage with Luke Kuechly of all people there, and you're throwing to the end zone and I get it. I mean, Jeffrey is your big play receiver. You're trying to make a play. There was guys wide open to get that first down. And if you get the first down there, even if you don't score, you have 4 downs to try to get in the end zone. And you go for the hero throw on 3rd down. Try to get, touchdown to Alshon Jeffrey. He's double covered with Luke Kuechly there. What are we doing? But it also goes, and I've said this before, and I'm going to keep pounding the drum to this, it's balance on offense. There is no balance. And it's easy to say that when you're up 17-0 going into the fourth quarter. But if you think about it, if you had a little more balance, maybe the Panthers don't even get the ball back that often in the fourth quarter. Maybe they don't have the chance at a comeback. If you're running the ball with effectively, which, by the way, other teams have ran the ball in the Panthers this season. And you're constantly throwing the ball. And I get it's a passing league, I know it, but I look at the two teams that are the two best teams in the league right now. You got the Kansas City Chiefs, you got the LA Rams. What do they both have? A running game. Yeah, they're throwing the ball well. Mahomes looks like he could be an MVP candidate. So too for Goff. They're putting up numbers. They have a lot of playmakers at the wide receiver position that are having great years, but their running games are fantastic. Todd Gurley and Hunt, two of the top runners in the league, and they have balance. And between the two of those teams, they have one loss so far this season. Again, I get it. It's a passing league. Everyone passes. But you have to have balance. And that's something that for whatever reason, Doug Peterson just forgot about. Against the Giants, and look, it's the Giants. The Giants stink, okay? It was a win. I was happy that they won that game, but I know the Giants stink. And you beat the Giants, and part of the reason why you walked away with that game and you blew them out, because you had balance on offense. You ran the ball. You didn't just sit there, throw. Oh, we're going to hand off every now and then, just to mix one in every now and then. They had balance on that offense, and they tore the Giants apart. And I'm not saying you're going to do it every week, but you have to at least keep a defense honest. And the big fault in this game really didn't rely as much with the offense because they were moving the ball. Again, you're up 17-0 in the fourth quarter at home. You got to put that team away. You got to win that game. And a good portion of the blame goes on the defense because, again, you're up 17-0. You got to get some stops. 3 straight touchdown drives for the Panthers. But again, there is no balance on this offense. And I know a lot of Eagle fans have talked about LeGarrette Blount. And yeah, LeGarrette Blount was a big... You can't keep everybody. As much as we fall in love with players, and all fans do, it's just, it's part of being a fan. And when you have teams that win championships or a championship, it's hard to keep everyone. There are no teams in this league. If they win a title or multiple titles, they come back with the same team every year. There's tough decisions made. You lose players. But I get, LeGarrette Blount was a veteran. He was a guy that won multiple championships. He was a leader. He was a voice in the locker room. I get that. If Darren Sproles was healthy, maybe no one's talking about this. I don't know. Darren Sproles has been out since after week 1. LeGarrette Blount hasn't put up eye-popping numbers with Detroit, but again, he was a veteran here. He was a leader. The fan base misses LeGarrette Blount, and I don't blame him. I liked him. I thought he was a good player. I thought he served a great purpose with this team last year. I was disappointed when they let him go. But I understand that you're going to make tough decisions as a GM, and you can't keep everybody. But the onus still falls on Howie to go out and get another running back. Now, here's the issue. Sony Michel got hurt today for the Patriots. And I don't know what the status is. It looked pretty bad. He was being helped off the field. Now, the Patriots aren't just going to sit there and twiddle their thumbs and say, oh, well, we're okay. No. They're going to go out and they're going to make a move. Okay? And we all know Le'Veon Bell's out there. Now, the Steelers, do you really want to play with the Patriots? But hey, if they give you a good enough offer, you're going to take it. Even if it means helping the evil empire there in New England. But Le'Veon Bell's sitting out there, and I'm not one of those Eagle fans that constantly beats the drum for Le'Veon Bell. But I said this before, and I say it again. He is a playmaker. He's a difference maker in the running back position. This team needs a running back, a go-to bell cow running back. Okay? There are risks, of course, with getting Le'Veon Bell. There's no guarantee you're going to have him after this season. And the way things are going this season doesn't really matter if we get Le'Veon Bell. But I will say this, if there's a chance that they can get him and retain him for the years going forward, I would do it. Because I know that going forward, listen, you're not going to have Darren Sproles. You don't have him right now because he's hurt. You're not going to have him past this season. Smallwood's up in the air. Corey Clement you probably would still have after this season, but you need a go-to running back. And this team won a Super Bowl with running back by committee. I get that. But to have another weapon, to have one of the top tier running backs in the game. When I see two of the teams right now that are, and who knows when at the end of the day, the two teams that are going to be in the Super Bowl, okay? But I see what those teams are doing. Yes, they have weapons at wide receivers, but they have a bell cow running back that's a difference maker. And Le'Veon Bell, love him or hate him, he's a difference maker. Now, Steeler fans will, he didn't show up in the playoffs. Well, okay, I get that. There's always going to be risks and whatnot, but he's still a top running back in this league. And this is a position the Eagles need. And if they need this position so badly, and I think they need to make this move. Howie needs to make this move. But if he makes this move, and I will say this with a caveat, I don't care if you have Le'Veon Bell. I don't care if Todd Gurley or Hunt or name any top back in the league right now is on this team. If you're not going to commit to running the ball a bit, if you're not going to commit to having balance on the offense, it's not going to matter. And having Le'Veon Bell, you could have a backfield with Le'Veon Bell and Todd Gurley. If you're not going to hand the ball off a little bit, it's not going to matter. So the onus, again, falls on Doug and the coaching staff, the offensive coordinators, to get it right. If you bring in a Le'Veon Bell, per se, or Shady McCoy, or whoever it is, per se, that Howie brings in, and hopefully he does bring another back in, you have to have a commitment that you're going to run the ball, that you're going to try to have some balance. Not to say it's going to happen every single week, but if you're going to get a running back here, a top-tier running back, got to use him. I mean, it's nice to have him there in the uniform and, selling jerseys and at online and at local stores, but it means nothing if you don't give him the ball. And maybe it's a trust factor. Maybe the coaching staff doesn't trust these running backs, even though when they have the opportunities, they seem to make plays. Whether it's Smallwood or Clement, they've done okay when they've been given the opportunity, but they just haven't been given enough opportunity. But Howie got to make some moves, okay? And it's not guaranteed he makes some moves that this is going to, be the fix-all. But this team does have holes that he needs to try to fix. He was the GM of the year last year. And rightfully so. Made a lot of great moves in the offseason and in the season. He's got to continue. And their mantra after last season, this is the new norm at the parade. Well, so far, Howie really hasn't done much of anything besides bring Jordan Matthews? I mean, Josh Gordon. It's frustrating because you as a fan base, we know what these players are. And there are risks. Josh Gordon had risks attached to him. We all know this. But he's a playmaker. And I still look at this receiving core, and I know Jeffrey's balled out since he's come in. I know that, Zach Ertz is doing great. And look, they have some weapons, but it's not enough. The other side of Jeffrey, what do they got? I mean, Nelson Aguilar, okay, here and there, but it's not enough. You need another receiver, another threat, a deep threat type of receiver. And I don't know where that's going to come from. But if there's a trade to be made, I mean, Amari Cooper's name's been floating around, whatever. The Raiders seemingly want an arm and a leg for him, so that's probably not going to happen. But, I mean, there are other players out there who might be able to get via trade, might be able to help, the other side of Alshon Jeffrey. And I would much rather see Nelson Aguilar in the slot. I just think he's a better slot receiver than on the outside. Running back. Need to get a running back. I know that they're thin in the secondary now. They have some injuries, and we'll see if Jones comes back, whatever, but need to make a move there. Need to get another corner. I wouldn't be opposed to even trying to find another safety. But this is what we as a fan base have to trust Howie, that he's going to get these deals done. It's hard to secure everything, but there are moves that they have to make. They cannot stay pat. And it's just something that they can't do, and I hope they don't. I hope they do make some moves. And will it be the cure-all? I don't know. I said this a few weeks ago. It seems like an 8-8 type of year. And looking at how this team played today in the fourth quarter, 8-8 might be kind. We may have a below 500 year after winning a Super Bowl. It's a possibility if they don't change this thing around. If they can't make those adjustments. Sports is all about adjustments. It's what it is. If something isn't working, you got to fix it. You got to fix it in game. You got to fix it week to week with football. With other sports, it's a daily thing. Because these games are, what, every other day or whatever it is, a couple times a week, how often? So you're constantly adjusting. You have to change. You can't just stay status quo or you're gonna get burned. Unless you're the Warriors. Everyone knows what they're gonna do, but they just, they're just we know they're gonna shoot a lot of threes. It's nice to know what they're gonna do. It's another thing to try to stop them. I feel the pain of all the Eagle fans. This has been, I've seen bad seasons with this team. We all have. We know what it feels like, and it's tough coming off of a season that we had last season where everything. And look, there was a lot of pixie dust in that season too because of you had the long field goal by Jake Elliott, and all these little things that worked last season, and now this season we're not quite there. They're not getting the big turnovers. They're not getting those big stops on defense, not getting enough pressure on the quarterback on defense. On offense, it hasn't been lights out. They haven't pointed it up every week. And part of that I still feel is there's no balance on this offense. And you can talk about the injuries and you can talk about the guys playing hurt all you want. I saw this team last season with key injuries and they won a Super Bowl. I don't know if now you don't want to go to the well too often. You don't want to have constant injuries every week. I mean, that's going to derail any team. But the biggest problem that I'm seeing so far this season is that this coaching staff has not adjusted. Other teams have adjusted to them. They have to adjust. I don't know if it's something as simple as saying, well, Frank Reich isn't here anymore. I don't know. It's just you see there is a difference. And I think losing some of those coordinators, sure, it hurts. But teams lose coordinators all the time. Championship teams, the Patriots, how many coordinators have they lost? But the constant there is Belichick and Brady. It's nice to have that. It's nice to have that stability. I'm still hoping it's Peterson and Wentz. But I got to see more from Doug. And look, I'm not putting all the shoulder and the blame on Carson, but, I'd like to see a little more from number 11. In key situations, late in games, getting those big touchdowns, getting those big drives. And part of it's play calling, but part of it's decision-making on Carson's part. And I still think he's a tremendous quarterback in this league. I really do. But look, got to be smarter. And he'll tell you he's got to be smarter. 3rd and 2, you're throwing to the end zone in double coverage with Luke Kuechly there. Maybe you don't throw that ball. Maybe you survey the field a little more and see, who was it, Wendell Smallwood wide open in the flat. Get the first down. And then you got 4 downs to try to get a touchdown. No guarantee you're going to get it, but your odds go up a little more instead of just, okay, now it's 4th and 2, and here comes the rush, and, well, we all know how that ended. So there are things that Carson has to tighten up. I still believe he's a great quarterback here. I know there's some Eagle fans that are talking about Foles again. It's like, oh, I know Nick Foles won a Super Bowl. He was a Super Bowl MVP. And look, he will always have a place at the table here because of it. Always. But Nick Foles is what Nick Foles is. Okay? A small sample size, you're going to get decent results. A full season, he does have his flaws. And they show up when he plays. Again, no disrespect to the man. I'm not hating on him. But I know that this is Carson Wentz's team. Even though Nick won a Super Bowl. I get that. It's hard to look past that. When you win your first championship in Super Bowl, it, it is. It's hard to look past the man who was the MVP. But this is Carson Wentz's team. We have to remember he's still a young quarterback. And I know he had a phenomenal year last year before he got hurt and was out for the year. He was an MVP. Candidate for sure, would have won it if he didn't get hurt. But he's still a young quarterback, and he has things he's got to learn. He's got to tighten up. And that type of situation, again, you're going for the home run play, you're going for the hero throw. Maybe you don't. He got away with some throws there. I mean, that could have been an interception by Reed, and in the end zone, in double coverage, it could have been an interception. He got away with 2 throws there. But it got to be better. Got to be better. Got to survey that field better. And he's usually good at doing that. I was surprised looking at that play. How that was developing there. Listen, this was a very, 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 very difficult loss. 21-17 the final. Carolina gets revenge from a season ago in our seemingly annual meeting with them. We'll probably play them again next season, I'm guessing. It is what it is. It sucks. It sucks because we had a 17-0 lead at home, and they let it, as Dennis Green, they let them off the hook, but it is what it is. We got to move on now. Interesting game next week, right? Going to London to play the Jaguars, a team in turmoil themselves right now with a quarterback situation. Blake Bortles gets pulled today. Some say maybe a few games too late, but he gets pulled today. Their offense is in absolute flux. But this defense is in a bit in flux. So we're going to see how things go, next week in London. This defense got to step up. You're going up against an offense that is in absolute shambles right now. They don't have one of their best players in Leonard Fournette. Their quarterback has certainly had issues. Their offense has had issues scoring. They got like 7 points today, and they were shut out, I believe, or very minimal points the week before at Kansas City, if not shut. I forget what that score was. I know they got blown out in Kansas City. And today they lost 2. So their offense is looking for answers. The one thing I will say is they're used to going to London. They go there every year. This is the Eagles' first trip to London to play a game. And it's going to be interesting to see how this team can rebound. I think Jacksonville's a beatable team. I may not have been able to say that with as much confidence before the season, but looking at how things have gone forward for that team, their defense isn't looking as good as it was. And look, they're still very dangerous. But they haven't put up near the numbers they did a year ago. Neither has our defense. But this is an offense that still should be able, the Eagles' offense should be able to move the ball on them, and they should be able to have some success. And this defense should, and I emphasize, should be able to shut down that offense that is in absolute flux. But we'll see. You still got to play the game. They got to rebound. I mean, we said this a couple weeks ago, and they beat the Giants on the road. They got to rebound. It'd be nice to get a win going into the bye week. Look, 4-4 is nothing to, but it's a lot better than below 500 going into the bye week. And then they have a big game at home after the bye week against Dallas. Lost today to the Redskins. The Redskins are in first place. What are they, 4-2? They're putting it together. I know that at times they don't look great. They got blown out some weeks ago against the Saints, but they've rattled off 2 straight wins, including a home game against the Panthers, and now that's a tiebreaker. We lost to the Panthers. They beat the Panthers. And I'm not about winning divisions, okay? I've seen this team win a Super Bowl. I'm not talking, people, we could still win the division. Well, what's that? What are we, Dallas fans now? Winning the division is just good enough? I mean, what is this? Right now, it's not about winning the division or just winning the division. It's about winning the division, winning the conference, and winning the Super Bowl. Now, that looks a little out of reach right now, the way this team is going. But as a fan, in my mind, that when I saw what this team did a year ago, that's in my mind. Now, I understand to have a shot at it, you got to make the playoffs. And the best chance to do that in this division this season, more than likely, is to win the division. So, yeah, that's the goal. You got to win the division to get in. There are things they need to tighten up. There are things that need to be changed. There are things that the coaching staff has got to change. There are things that the players have to change. And Howie's got to make some moves. Starting with getting on the phone to Pittsburgh this week and trying to make a deal for Le'Veon Bell, or in the bye week, making a deal for Le'Veon Bell. Okay? Again, if you get Le'Veon Bell, and that's a big if, but if you get Le'Veon Bell, you got to commit to it. You got to commit to handing the ball off every now and then, and not just pass. Balance. Chiefs, Rams, two of the top offenses, again, I will say this again, two of the top offenses in the league going right now, have balance. And they have that bell cow back that they can just hand the ball off to how many times a game, and they're going to put up numbers. And I know that doesn't always mean success. Dallas has Zeke. Last season, I know he was suspended from the season before, won a lot of games, didn't win the playoffs. It doesn't always matter if you have that you're going to go to the Super Bowl every year. I mean, the Rams last season didn't go with Todd Gurley. It doesn't always mean that, but you still have a greater chance of having success as an offense, and your quarterback has a better area of success if you have a balanced offense, if you keep a defense off their toe. Balance. They can't just load up for one aspect of your game. You have to have two. Disappointing. It's been the biggest word that we've said all season to this point, and it continues on October 21st. Disappointing. Can't blame the fans. They were there. They were loud as always today. But the team, guys, you can't just play for 3 quarters here. Okay, it's a 4-quarter game. And they played for 3 quarters, and then the 4th quarter came. They did some dancing. And we all know the rest. 21-17 Panthers. But now, it's a travel week. They got to go to London to play the Jaguars. You got to find a way to rebound, get that win, and go into the bye week hoping to search for some more answers here. Let's get a victory. Let's get the 4-4. Get to the bye week. Maybe the Redskins lose or something like that. And, we'll play them twice. We'll play Dallas twice. So the 2 teams there right there, we're going to see 4 times. So the Eagles still have, the cards on the table. But they got to handle their business. Excuse me. And to this point this season, they have not handled their business for the most part. And, again, maybe that's just a harbinger of what this season's going to be. I still believe there's talent on this team. I still believe there's talent with the coaching staff. I still believe that this is a team that can turn it around, get back in the right direction. But it's going to take work. It's going to take attitude. It's going to take want to get this thing corrected. They have the ability to do it, but they got to do it. And we've been saying this for a few weeks now. The Giants game, we were all happy, but we were more like reserved because we wanted to see it against Carolina, against Jacksonville. The Giants are, dumpster fire. So you beat them, you blow them out. All right, that could be, fool's gold. Going up against another opponent, now here we go. And it looked good for 3 quarters. It looked like we had our team back. And then the 4th quarter came, and, well, yeah, we still have work to do. It was ugly. Like I said, this was right there as one of the worst losses I've seen in a long time because of the score of the game, 17-0 in the 4th quarter at home. And you got to put that team away. I don't care if Cam Newton, Superman, this and that. It doesn't matter to me. You still got to put them away. And they didn't do it. Plain and simple. The Panthers made plays. They did not. They did not. So the haters are going to hate. People are going to say what they want, but it's a week-to-week thing. If the Eagles next week, in London, cruise by Jacksonville and get a win and go to 4-4, go into the bye week, we'll see. There are big games coming up. Big games. Twice against Dallas, twice against Washington. You're playing in New Orleans. You're playing in L.A. Boy, those games aren't looking too promising right now, are they? The Saints, another team. I forgot about it. The Saints, another team. Balance. They got Drew Brees, right? All-time yards thrower. But they got balance. They got Kamara. They got Ingram. One thing leads to the other. It helps each other when you have balance. And three of the best offenses going right now. I'm sorry, I forgot the Saints. Three of the best offenses, Kansas City, L.A. Rams, and the Saints. Balance. Balance. Got to have it. Even the Patriots. They got the GOAT. They got Tom Brady. But they were running the ball. With Sony Michel and whoever. They had a balance. And we'll see. I am a little worried now, that Sony Michel went down. If he is lost for a prolonged period of time. It looked like a bad injury. We'll see. I'm not, key into the Patriots. I'm an Eagles fan, but we'll see what that injury is about because their front office is going to be on the phone trying to get a running back, and the Eagles need a running back too. So now this is where Howie's got to make his money. All right, because you already lost on Gordon to the Patriots, and if Michel's out and Patriots need a running back, now it's about beating them to the punch and getting that running back here. But it's beyond just a running back. Make no mistake, there's a few moves that Howie has to make. But getting a running back like a Le'Veon Bell or a Shady or whoever, a bell cow back here would be big. It would be big, but then you got to commit to it. Balance. All right, everyone, I know I've gone on long like I always do, but what can you say? This was a tough one. There's been a series of tough ones so far this season. It sucks. But got to regroup, got to rebound. Got to get a win across the pond in London. I'm going to have Big Slim over here. My buddy, from Maryland there, Big Slim. He's a big Eagles fan. We're going to watch the game here at the Mighty Kingdom next week. And, we're hoping, as all Eagle fans are, we're hoping that this team can turn things around. Because right now, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. And it sucks. Coming off a Super Bowl here. But them's the break sometimes. They have no one to blame but themselves. They got to play better. They know they can play better. They just got to do it. They can talk all they want all week. But they got to do it. They got to show it on the field. And it's got to be a week-to-week deal. Not just 1 week. Go look good against Jacksonville, like they did against the Giants. And then they come out, after the bye week. And it's Dallas week. All right. That's going to do it. I got to get to bed. I got to get up early for work tomorrow. But I wanted to make this vid here, and just, again, as all Eagle fans have done here on YouTube, on social media, this was a very disappointing day with the fact they had everything going for them in the fourth quarter and they let it get away. This is definitely one that they let get away, as the Tennessee game was. 2 of them now they let get away, and you can't keep doing that. Just can't have it. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching as always. Let's go Birds. Let's find a way to get through this week. It's going to be tough, but we have been fans of this team for a long time. We've seen a lot with this team. And if any fan base knows how to get through a tough week, it's us. So we got to do it again and hope our Birds show up in London and, take care of those Jaguars. All right, everyone. Take care.